Adam, back at home at the weekend, you were back again with another resounding win.
Yeah, it was really pleased. I thought it was a good performance. Like I say, I thought we should have been leading more at half time, but you know, full credit to the players. They stuck with the game plan, didn't let the heads drop, which had been easy to do because I thought the week before we had some chances and didn't quite take them, and then we didn't quite take our chances first half, but to then score 3 from set pieces was really pleasing.
So we're halfway through this season, top of the table, beyond your wildest dreams, or was you expecting York City to be up there challenging at this stage?
Yeah, I think you when you start a season, you always want to have those high expectations, or certainly I do. But yeah, I think we'd all be lying, I think, if we said this is where we thought we'd be at this stage. Normally we come in towards the end of last year, just about done the job to keep us in the division, and this year is really about then sort of laying a bit of a marker on how we want to play and trying to establish ourselves a little bit more in the league. And now we're in the position we're in, we're thoroughly enjoying it and want to try and do all we can to stay there.
Yeah, of course you are. Can I ask you, because we are at the halfway stage, any particular highlights so far from your particular game that you look back on with most satisfaction?
I think there's been some really good performances, especially at home, scoring a lot of goals at home, but I think it's got to be the amount of fouls we took and the way the sort of Halifax game ended, to be honest. We wasn't nowhere near at our best, probably the worst we played all season in that second half. But yeah, kept on going, grind it out and showed a real good togetherness. I thought that was the sign. That's what good teams do. When not at their best, they keep going and manage to find a way. And like I say, no coincidence that it happened in front of 2,000 York fans behind the goal.
Most disappointing moment of the season so far?
Altrincham away again. Really disappointed with our performance there, and not the players at all. I think it was more myself and the team I probably put out that day. I think in hindsight, looking back, would like to have that game again. But yeah, learnt a lot from it, and so that was probably the sort of downside so far.
Going to the players, who's impressed you the most? Do you think, if there was a player of the half season, who do you think would be getting your vote at the minute, if you're able to say?
No, it's tough, really. I think I'd give it to the collective group for them all coming together as well as what they have. That everyone's been needed. I think we forget about Len's contribution because Ollie Pearce has probably stole the limelight of late, but his contribution with those goals coming off the bench early on in the season was massive for us, and and then Harrison and Rory made some important saves to keep clean sheets for us. So I think it'd be wrong to single out one sort of player. That's for the fans and that to do at the end of the season, rightly so. But yeah, at this sort of stage, I think just the collective coming together as well as what they have, I think would be the key thing that's really sort of pleased me.
I think most York City supporters would like to give you a lot of credit as well, because it's not very often when a manager brings in a number of players that every single one of them seems to have worked out so far. I don't think there's been one signing that anyone could say, you know what, he's maybe not reached his potential yet, or he's not been a decent signing for York City. That's very unusual for that to happen.
Yeah, not just myself. I think credit to the players for coming in and adapting so well and doing as well as what they have. There's been players that I still think there's more to come from as well. But all of them have shown their quality, and I got, like I say, full faith, full belief in the squad that we've got now. It's a real good squad. And like I say, day in and day out, people have got to be at their best to try and warrant wearing a York City shirt, and that's what you want as a manager, and we've definitely got that with the group of players that we've got together.
So here we are at Christmas, Boxing Day. I think for lots of supporters, this is the highlight of the season on Boxing Day. As a manager, is it the same for you? Are you able to enjoy your Christmas because you've got a game just 24 hours later?
You'd be lying if you say that you sort of got one sort of eye on the game. Obviously, you try and be present. excuse the pun, but present for the kids and that on the day. But yeah, you've got one eye on the game as well, and yeah, it's something that growing up in football, you've always looked forward to Christmas Day, obviously, but then knowing that the next day there's normally a game on Boxing Day, and it's always been a football day, Boxing Day, for myself growing up, and obviously even more so now. So yeah, really enjoy Christmas Day with the family, but also can't wait for the game, and what a big game and a game to enjoy on Boxing Day.
Yeah, it couldn't really be any bigger. The two sides, the size of both clubs and the positions that you both find yourselves in.
That's it. Real sort of challenge for us at the moment. They've got a couple of games in hand, and they'll be looking to close that gap definitely on Thursday. So yeah, two massive clubs as well for this level. So yeah, a real big game, one to really enjoy. It's an old stadium, but got lots of heritage, lots of tradition, and I can remember going there as a player as well, and that was early on in the season. So yeah, it's a real good place to play and be part of, and manage and coach, and the supporters will really enjoy it as well. So yeah, we're just hoping that the both teams can live up to the day and give a good show and good account of the National League.
Yeah, there'll be a huge crowd there as well, especially with it being Boxing Day. Oldham clearly, just because of the position they're in, are having a great season. They've only been beaten twice this season. Mickey Mellon seems to have really turned them around from being a middle of the table side, a middling sort of side, maybe just into the top half, to now one that is really pushing for promotion. Yeah,
they certainly are, and they're all the way growing up. Remember the early years in the Premier League, and then being in the Premier League. So they're definitely have sights of wanting to get back and be a Football League club, and that's definitely their aim and their ambition to do that, and not just get in the Football League but move up the leagues again as well. I'm sure that's the aim of the club, and like I say, Mickey's definitely got them moving in that right direction this year, and like I say, they're in a really good position. Got a couple of games in hand, and they'll want to sort of close that gap so that when they do have their games in hand, they can pounce and be part of the makeup at the top end of the table. So yeah, real tough game, real tough ask for us. But yeah, I think every game, like I say, especially this time of the season, it's a real big period. Christmas and January, real big parts of the season, and we've got to step up and embrace it and enjoy these fixtures. We probably didn't expect to be here, but now we're here. We want to embrace it and really enjoy. People trying to take points of us to stop us being at the top of the league. It's a great place to be in, and we want to embrace that.
We all know what the atmosphere will be like. It'll be loud from both sets of supporters. Do you talk about that with your players? I know they'll know exactly what to expect, but do you, on an individual basis, do you talk about the sort of atmosphere and what they're going to find at some of these away games?
Not really. I just think, as a player that's playing in the National League, you're going to Oldham away in front of a massive crowd, and York City, as a York City player with a massive following behind you, I don't think it's much better as a National League player for me. These are the type of games, it's almost like the size and stature of the game is almost like a League One fixture, and it's happening in the National League, so you want to embrace that. And I think, like any footballer, anyone involved in football, these are the games that you want to be a part of, and it's come at a perfect time. Boxing Day, like I say, it's a football day, and I'm sure both sets of fans will be well up for it, and with the later kick-off as well, it's got all the makings, like I say, of a top game, and hoping that the players really embrace it and want to, and you've got to enjoy being part of a game like this.
Now, I know you've told us that you're bringing the players in on Christmas Day. Can you expand a little bit on why you've decided to make that decision?
Yeah, we're just trying to do all we can to be ready for the game. We could have come in Monday, Tuesday, had the Wednesday off, and then gone to the game. But it's not our normal preparation for a game. And I just think with the late kick-off, obviously Christmas Eve we'll train and we'll be away by 1. And I think it's quite a long time then from Christmas Eve all the way to meeting up again on Boxing Day. So, yeah, I think we're in a good position, and we need to do all we can and prepare properly, because we've got a real tough game on Boxing Day, and I think this gives us the best preparation for the game.
When did you tell the players? What was their reaction? Were there a couple of shoulders slumped, or was everyone happy to come in?
No, yeah, I think, again, also the makeup of the squad, there's a lot of lads that are single lads living up this way, and obviously, won't be able to travel back. Me, Gary and Cam the same. We're up here, won't be able to travel back because we can't go back down south and then get to Oldham on Boxing Day. So we're up here. So the majority, I think, are kind of looking forward to getting out and putting the boots on, and something for them to do. And obviously the older lads, which we haven't got too many of. We haven't got too many that have got really big families. There's couple with some younger sort of kids, so yeah, we wanted them to have the call of the timings of coming in, but ultimately we're all professionals, and we want the best, and whatever it takes to give us the best chance of winning the game on Boxing Day, and we feel this is the best preparation for that.
Before we started recording, we talked about the fact there's no weekend games. It's a relatively quiet Christmas period for games for National League clubs. Would you prefer there to be another game in between Boxing Day and New Year's Day just because it is Christmas? Or do you think this is maybe right this year and that the players are going to get a little bit of a break in between?
Yeah, I think that'll be the tradition, and I think sort of League 1 and 2, I believe, are playing on the weekend as well, getting an extra game in, and that's normally what we're used to and accustomed to. The fact that we haven't got that does allow us, myself, to go back and see some family, see my son in that period. So, like, from a selfish point of view, that's nice to be able to do that. But yeah, whatever the fixture list would have brought out, and whether it meant us playing at the weekend or not, we'd have been ready and had no excuses. And I think it sort of helped us a little bit with there not being that extra game in between. But yeah, like I say, no excuses. It's almost a bit weird that there's not that game, because, like I say, you're used to a hectic Christmas period, and it's probably 6 days in between, but nowhere near as hectic as what it normally is.
With this game against Oldham being the late kick-off, everyone else will have played by the time you start. I presume you and all the players will know how the Barnets and the Forest Greens and the Gateshead have got on. How does that work?
We just focus on it. People generally tell you how those results are going, those that are looking at it, but it's not something that we actively will be doing. Me won't be desperate to know them scores. I think we concentrate on our game and what we can control, and then take stock of it all after. But it just seems to get filtered around the changing room. Whether certain people have got it flashing up on their phones or whatever, I don't know. But it's not something that we worry too much about. Like I say, that we've got enough to worry about in terms of a massive game against Oldham, so that's our full focus.
In your squad, is everyone come through Saturday okay? Everyone available?
Yeah, everyone's all good. The only thing that there's like a little bit of illness going through, like David and Ollie missed a lot of training last week. David had it before. There's one or two that are picking up that, but as long as that doesn't spread through the camp, there's a couple of the staff that have been off that have had it. But yeah, that's the only thing. And I think injury-wise, everyone's come through unscathed, and now we're just praying that the illness that has been going through doesn't hit anyone over the Christmas period, and everyone's ready to go Boxing Day. Because
I think that's what everyone wants to see, don't they? They want to see the best that York City can put out against the best that Oldham can put out. Yeah,
of course they do. Yeah, and we're not far away. Couple of players away from everyone being back and having a full bill of health, and we want to be competitive in the league. We want to be competitive in the trophy now as well. So having that, I think, will allow us to do that.
We should ask you then about Cam John and Darragh again. Any update on those two? Because I suppose left back is still just the one problem issue for you.
Yeah, it is in terms of having a natural left back, I think Ricky's been playing excellently there, so really cemented a place. When he dropped into centre back, he was our man of the match, and some of his passes first half against Tamworth, and he's defended well again on the weekend. Scott Morris causes a few problems with diagonal balls to him, and I thought he was quite quiet. So, compliment to Rick for how well his performances have been there. But I don't think Cam John's too far away now. We're just waiting to make sure he hasn't got no reaction from. He's had a full week of training, so potentially can be available for the squads on Thursday. Don't think he's going to be quite ready to start the game and get more than 60 minutes, but maybe available to come on and use off the bench. But we'll look at that over the next couple of days and see where we are. But like I say, they're not too far away. If it's not Thursday, then I'm sure I'll be back in contention for New Year's Day.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Andrew, thanks.
Hi Adam. A 3-0 win against Southend on Saturday, and obviously all 3 goals came from corners from set pieces. Nowadays, with the big Premier League clubs, see all of these set piece coaching and anything like that. Have you got anything like that, or is it more just a collective effort from the current coaching staff? Yeah,
collective effort. Obviously, Gary's focus is a bit more on the defensive setup, so he focuses on that. But he'll come in with some ideas, see how the opposition set up, and some ways of that we can hurt them. Obviously, he looked at the wall jump in the other week and relayed that back. So it's just collective effort amongst the coaching staff, really. We sort of remember looking at the game back and Lenny scoring from a corner late on, so we wanted to just focus a little bit more on putting the ball into the box and go and attack it. And we do a bit of a set piece game that we've done in pre-season, and we scored a few times, and then we hadn't been doing it, so we introduced it on Friday and scored a couple of goals. So certainly we might have to bring in Christmas Day ready for Boxing Day.
Having Lenny back in the squad as well, he had his cameo, got a great reception from the fans. How good was it just to see him back on the pitch? Yeah,
not just on the pitch but around the dressing room. Obviously he'll be around the dressing room when he's injured, but when he's there putting his boots on, he's there in the warm-up. It does make a big difference. He's such a big character. Can't speak highly enough of the person that Lenny is, and it's great. We don't want no one to be injured, but he done so well for us at the early part of the season. And I think he gives everyone a lift. You can see the crowds when he's going to warm up, they're cheering his name, and then when he comes on, it's great for everybody that he's back. And now it's so important that we just do all we can to make sure we manage him, and he's available now between now and the end of the season.
How's he sort of recovered then from his cameo side?
Yeah, fine. No reactions. Like I say, wasn't too much time on the pitch, but he only needs the last half hour anyway, doesn't he? So I'm sure he'll be fine for that. But he's doing great. He's like I say, such a big character, big figure, and to have him back in training is so important as well.
I know in the past you spoke about potential fitness issues with the likes of Marvin Armstrong, Terry Sinclair at times. Are there any concerns about that going into this Oldham game, or is it something you managed quite well? Yeah,
I think we managed it well. They just a couple of niggles with like hamstrings and stuff, and I think we managed it so well. Like Ollie and Sam, so good on that sort of side of it, and know when to pull players out of training and when they need to ramp it up a little bit. So we've learned a lot about the sort of individuals that we've got at the club and how best to manage them as well in that first part of the season. And I can't see it being a problem now. I think they'll both come through them issues okay. We've managed it well, and they'll be ready to go.
With Oldham up next, they've got a lot of firepower within their squad. The likes of Mike Fondorp, James Norwood, Josh Stones. How do you go about sort of dealing with that?
They've got a lot of firepower, and so have we. So focus on what we can control. What we control is our game, our tempo, and what we can control more than any of that is how we press and how we sprint after the opposition. And I think that's been brilliant of late, and we've got to really sort of show that again. And we've got a very good defensive partnership in Callum Howe and Malachi at the moment. So we'll obviously know about their strengths. At the same time, we won't fear it too much. We'll obviously embrace that challenge. These are top players that I think you want to be playing against and testing yourself against week in, week out. So, it'd be a great, very tough challenge, like we know, but I'm sure we've got personnel in the ranks that will look forward to embrace that challenge as well.
I know you've already spoken about how the players will be in for Christmas Day. Will you get a chance then to sort of see your family between now and the New Year? And is it more understandable to your family? Like, do they understand it? Because obviously you've got Jack Hinshelwood in the team, in the Brighton team. Sorry, your grandfather and father himself also footballers. So to become almost like it's known in the Hinshelwood family that you're going to have.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's. I've been in a few times. I think I've even had to travel to Norwich away on Christmas Day and stay overnight in a hotel. So it's part and parcel of it. For a lot of people, they sort of have a bit of time off over Christmas, and if anything, it ramps up for football people over this period, and it just becomes the norm. I think I got the understanding from my wife now. She knows that might be the case. But I'll be present for the afternoon and be with the family, and it'll be the first time I think that we haven't spent Christmas Day with Jack, which would be something a bit new for us, but we're lucky that we've got that bit of time after the Oldham game to go down and have a couple of days with him, and we'll catch up then.
Last thing from me, have you got like a Christmas message to give to the supporters?
No, just obviously I'd like to wish them all a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and just keep the support going that they've shown all this season, really. Got ourselves into a good position. We want to stay there, and they're a massive part of that.
Brilliant, thank you very much.
Good.
Hi Adam.
Hiya.
Top of the table at Christmas, that sets expectations sky high. I think only twice in the last 10 seasons of the team that's been top of the National League at Christmas failed to get promotion. Now you seem to thrive on that. How do you keep the players grounded?
No, I think it's a good time to reflect, isn't it, on where you are halfway through the season. 48 points from 23 games, conceded 20 goals, we scored 47, won 14, draw 6 and lost 3. There's the stats, and we want to try and beat that in the second half of the period, second half of the table. That's there, it's out there, it's what's happened, and we want to, as a group, challenge ourselves to be better in the second half of the season.
And talking of stress and pressure, obviously there's the cliche pressures for tyres. People like Haaland, they have mindfulness and they have meditation. Is that something that the players at York do? Do they experiment with that as well?
I wouldn't say that's something that we actively do for the players and tell them to do, but I'm sure there'll be individuals that have their ways and their routines of dealing with certain situations. I think it's so important. It's coming into the game, and we wouldn't belittle anyone for having their own ways of coping, and it's not something that I've ever thought about myself. But I prefer to. Everyone's got their own ways, aren't they? People read books and stuff like that to have their own time, and some people play golf, and some people meditate, and I'm sure we'll have players that will do that. But as a club, it's not something that we sort of tell them that they must do.
Now, over the Christmas period, last year you were preparing Worthing to face Eastbourne Borough, and you won that 3-0. Different prospect, Oldham, top of the form guide, 11 goals from the last 3 league games. Can we expect a goal fest, or given your defensive record, is it likely to be a stalemate?
I think every time that we expect a goal fest, it seems to go the other way. We obviously want to build on the clean sheet from Saturday. I think that's very important, especially going away from home. We want to defend well together, be a solid team to play against. At the same time, with the firepower we got, we don't want to take that away from our game as well. We believe that we can go and cause some problems ourselves. We definitely won't just be going there and trying to park the bus and shut up shop. That's probably not in my nature to do that. At the same time, we do respect what we're coming up against, and that is some really good firepower. So yeah, we've got to make sure we defend together and defend in the structure, but at the same time we want to offer something going the other way as well.
And have you got everyone to choose from?
Yeah, everyone's come through unscathed. Like I said, there's a bit of illness going through the ranks, but yeah, not had anything reported today, so we're hoping that there's no fresh injuries or no new illness and stuff, and everyone will be fine, fit, ready to go.
Talking of Christmas cheer, it's great to see the players out and about in local charities and good causes. Connection with the local community seems really important to you.
Yeah, it's really important. Something that try to emphasise since I come in, and I want the badge out there a bit more. I want the players and everyone. Gary and Cam have been out and done lots lately, and I think it's part and parcel of being at a big club like we are. We want to get out in the community, and it's one city football club, and we want to embrace that, and part of that is us taking time to spend with the fans. And the important thing is, right, we can just turn up at events, but I think I want everybody to engage and be part of it and be present when they are there, and the feedback that we get back is that's the case. So yeah, we want to do more and make sure that we're out in the community.
And I'm sure the fans will be relishing getting away from York over to Oldham. Big away following, we expect. Yeah,
I'm sure there will be. Every time we travel, whether it be Forest Green or Halifax down the road, there's always sort of seems to surprise us just the amount of York City fans there are, and I'm sure Boxing Day will be no different. I'm sure now they'll all be looking forward to it, and like I say, we want to go and put on a show for them. We don't want to just turn up and not be present in the game. We want to go and give our best as well. We know it's a tough place to go. We know we're against a really tough opposition, but yeah, we want to go and give a good account of ourselves.
Talking of Christmas, we know that families obviously are very understanding, let's say, with regards to players and yourself. Can you remember the last time you actually had a traditional family Christmas? Was it lockdown?
Potentially, yeah. Yeah, that's probably a weird time, and yeah, probably felt weirder being at home and no football on. So yeah, it's tradition for us to prepare and have a game on Boxing Day, and whether that be us in training or not, there's still the preparation will still stay the same, even if we wasn't in training with all the players. The staff would still be working out set pieces, working out logistics and stuff like that. So yeah, your brain don't stop, and it's part and parcel of tradition of Christmas. Is football is a big part of that as well in our family. And
it supports everybody else as well. You're giving joy to everyone else.
We hope so, yeah. That'd be the aim, definitely. But yeah, it's an unbelievable time. Love Christmas, love being with the family, but also love winning games of football. So yeah, want to try and do that on Boxing Day as well.
Right, real family and football family. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Cheers.
you.